All right, I'm going to talk to you today about Pai Gow poker. So here we have a version of Pai Gow called Face Up Pai Gow, and I'll go over some of the differences. But some of the basics on Pai Gow, you're playing with a 53 card deck, so you do have one joker in the deck. The joker is a wild card, but it is not a true wild card. It can be used to complete a straight or flush. Otherwise, it's always an ace. Right? And the object of this game is that you're placing a wager and you're being dealt 7 cards. Okay, everyone gets 7, dealer gets 7. The players are trying to make 2 hands. They're setting a 5-card hand, which is their high hand, and a 2-card hand, which is their low hand. Right? And then the dealer is doing the same. We're going to compare the player's high hand to ours, and we're going to compare their low hand to our low hand. If the player wins both, the high and the low hand, they win their wager. If they lose both, they lose their wager. If they win one, lose the other. It's just a push, right? So that's kind of the basic gist of Pai Gow, right? Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to deliver a hand on Pai Gow. So, here's your betting circle, right? The players bet. Right, they place their money in the betting circle. These spots are for the cards. Right, the rest of these are bonus wagers, which I'll get into in a little bit. Now, on a normal Pai Gow game, we take a 5% commission out of any winning wagers. Here at Hard Rock Cincinnati, we deal what's called Face Up Pai Gow, which is a commission-free game. Right, so there is no commission. Now, how is this game dealt? Right, depends. You may have a set of dice to mark your starting position. You may have what we have. I don't have it down here, but we have a system called iVerify, which tells us how to set our hands in Pai Gow. It also tells us where to deliver the first card. So I'm going to do it manually down here with the dice the old way. So if I didn't have that iVerify software, what I have is a dice cup with 3 dice in it. And I use that to mark my starting position. I take the dice, right, and I add the total on there. Right, so I've got a total of 8. You always start with the dealer at 1, and the dealer is going to wind up being 1, 8, and 15, and you count counterclockwise. So starting from the dealer position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? That's where the first pack of cards are going to be delivered. Now, we don't hand deal this anymore. We deal out of a shuffle machine. Again, I don't have a shuffle machine here with me, so I'm going to just kind of simulate it. But you'll be pulling packs of 7 cards out of the shuffle machine, right? And you're going to deliver those to every single spot. And on Pai Gow, you deliver all the cards to all spots, no matter how many people are playing. So even if only one person is playing at the table, you deliver all the cards every hand. And then what's left, you should have 4 cards. So you spread those last 4 cards, right? You're verifying that all the cards are there in the deck and have been delivered. If you have anything other than 4, it's instantly a dead hand, okay? On Pai Gow, that's very important on this game. A lot of it, there's a lot of tradition and superstitions on this game. If anything is delivered out of order, it's immediately a dead hand and you just start over. If I accidentally put the first pack of cards in the wrong starting position and I realized my mistake as I was doing it, even that would cause me to just call it a dead hand and start all over again, right? Once we have everything delivered, we take the cut card, we scoop up those 4 cards with the cut card underneath so nobody can see the cards, right? And we pick up all the cards from the spots that are not being played. They get discarded in your discard rack. You have to forgive my folded layout here. The cut card goes on top sideways, right? And the cut card is just separating the cards that were in play from the cards that were out of play. So if the supervisor has to back up a hand, etc., right? Anything under the cut card was out of play, right? Now, our version of Face Up Pai Gow, the dealer reveals their cards first, right? So as a dealer, I go ahead and I put all my cards in order, right? And then I set my hand from there. Now there's a whole list of house ways which tell the dealer how they are supposed to set their hand. Again, I'm not going to go over all those house ways. It's about 3 pages in our SOP manual that you have to look through and study and learn. Unless you have iVerify software, which we have, which actually is linked to the shuffle machine and will tell you how to set your hand for you. This hand right here is what's known as a Pai Gow. right? That's the name of the game, right? Pai Gow is a hand that has nothing in it. No pairs, no straights, no flushes. It is a nothing hand. Now remember earlier I said our version of the game is commission free, and what do we do in lieu of commission? Well, if the dealer has an ace-high Pai Gow, then all the main wagers will push, okay? And that means a Pai Gow is a hand with nothing in it, right? But your high card is an ace. I don't have an ace-high Pai Gow in this case. I have a queen-high Pai Gow. So this hand is going to play. I'm going to go ahead and set my hand according to our houseways. Now the players are going to set their hands, and they don't have to follow the houseways. The only rule for the player when they set their hand is that they have to make sure that their 5-card hand is a higher ranking hand than their 2-card hand. That is their only rule that they have to follow, right? Now, if they should do the opposite and make their 2-card hand better than their 5-card hand, that is considered a fouled hand, and they will lose automatically if they foul their hand, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and set up the players' hands for them here according to according to houseways. Right. So let's see, let's do that. This player's going to split their pairs. And again, I'm not explaining all the houseways. There's too many of them for me to go over in this video. Something you have to read your SOP manuals for. I am setting all these up by our houseways here. And every one of these hands is set up so the 5-card hand is bigger than the 2. Right? Now once the players set up their hands, we're then going to compare them. I'm going to pair their low hand to my low hand and their high hand to my high hand. I start with their 2-card hand, and I always announce either player wins or house wins, and I talk out loud. Now another thing to note, a copy hand, right? I don't have an example of it here, but a copy hand is a tie, right? If the player and the dealer have the exact same cards, it's considered a copy hand in Pai Gow, and the house wins copy hands, right? House always wins copy hands. In this case, pair of 9s beats my 10 high, player wins, right? They have in their high hand a pair of jacks versus my queen high, player wins, right? If they win the hand, we leave all winning main wagers out on the table, and we come back and we pay them all at the end. So I'm going to leave this all out here. I'm going to move on to the next hand. All right. Player wins. Player wins. I'm going to leave that out there again. Right. If it loses or pushes, I will take the cards immediately. All right. Player wins. And player wins. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and pay all these. Right. Even money because there is no commission. I pay. I lock up the cards. Pay the next one. I'll lock up the cards. Pay the last one, lock up the cards. So it's not the fastest moving game, right? Kind of a slow paced game, right? With some pretty unique procedures, okay? Now there's also some bonus bets. I'll explain to you what those are, right? So first there is a fortune bonus, right? And the fortune bonus is using all 7 of the player's cards to make one of these hands on the pay scale here. Most of these are 5-card hands, so you're still using 5-card hands, right? There's a few of them that are 7-card hands, and they're noted that they're 7-card hands. Some of the big ones on here, right? The biggest is a 7-card straight flush, a royal flush and a royal match. What is that? Well, that's a royal flush and a king-queen suited in the same hand, right? 7-card straight flush. Using the joker, right? That's got its own payout. 5 aces, of course, would be 4 aces plus the joker to make that hand. Now, our limits here are $5 to $25 on that side bet. If anyone is playing that side bet, right? First of all, they must have a main wager first to be able to play the side bet. We put, I don't have them down here, but we put a button next to it that says envy on it. It's an envy button because that fortune bonus has some envy payoffs, meaning anyone else that was playing at the table who bet the fortune wins the envy bonus if somebody else at the table hits one of these hands on the fortune, kind of like a progressive jackpot. I'm sure everybody's seen progressive jackpots before that have envies on them, right? There's also another side bet called the ace high side bet. And that is a wager on the dealer having ace high Pai Gow. So remember I said if the dealer has ace high Pai Gow, everything pushes. So if they play that and the dealer has ace high Pai Gow, right, they're going to win 5-1. Now if the dealer has ace high Pai Gow, but they have the joker as their ace, it's going to pay 12-1. And if both the player and the dealer have ace high Pai Gow at the same time, that wager is going to pay 40-1. Right? Another thing to note on this game, ace 2, 3, 4, 5, known as the wheel in poker, is actually considered the second highest straight in Pai Gow. So ace, king, queen, jack, 10 being the highest, ace 2, 3, 4, 5 is the second highest, followed by, king high straight, queen high, etc., etc. Right? So just some differences on this game. I'm going to deal another hand out here. I'm just going to go through it again with all the bonus bets out there. Again, if I were using the iVerify software up there, I would just load the cards in my shuffle machine, and then iVerify would give me a number to start. When I'm using dice, it's going to give me, right, 3 dice. I'm going to have 3 through 18. With iVerify, it's always going to give you 1 through 7, dealer being 1. But I'm going to use the dice this time. All right, and I've got a total of 9. So remember, dealer's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I put the cut card in front of the position that I'm going to start from, and that position gets the first pack of cards. And I just keep going around counterclockwise, right, with the dealer in turn as well. In this case, I just happen to be last. But if I were to start on this in this spot, for example, that's where the first pack of cards would go. This is where the second pack, the dealers would be third, and then I'd continue around. Got 4 cards left. We'll lock them up with the cut card. Cut card on top sideways. I'm gonna open my hand first. And let's see what we got. Pair of 5. In this case, my house way is going to tell me to put my ace 9 in my low, my pair of 5s in my high. I'm going to go ahead and set the players' hands again for them. Now, as a dealer, while the players are setting up their hands, if you do not have ace high Pai Gow, you can go ahead and lock up those ace high wagers right away. This player has 2 pair. Our house way, we'd keep those 2 pair together. Would be our house way. Right. This player has 3 pairs. Right. And our house way would be to put our highest pair in the low and the 2 smaller pairs together in the high. Got a player with a pair of 6s here. Right. And they have a flush. They actually have a flush as well. So this one's kind of interesting, right? They've got a pair and they've got a flush. The house way might tell me to play the flush with the king 6 in the low. Remember, the players don't have to follow house ways. All they have to do is make sure that their 5-card hand is better than their 2-card hand. So if they were to set it up house way, they're going to wind up pushing, where they could set it up differently and wind up beating the dealer. Right? But this is still higher than this, so that's okay. So now I'm going to go around, compare hands here. Right? House wins. Player wins. Right? So remember, I only leave winning main wagers out here, so I'm going to want to take these cards. So I'm going to go ahead and settle the fortune now. So I'm going to take that. Right? That main wager is a push. I'm going to lock those cards up. Right? Next, player wins. Player wins. Right? There is no fortune, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm going to leave that winning main wager out there. Right? Next one, player wins. Player wins, and they have a flush. So remember that fortune bonus, right? You're using all 7 cards. So even if you split it up, you still have a 5-card flush somewhere within those 7 cards, right? So now I'm going to come back and pay everything that won. I'm going to pay this main wager, lock these cards up. Now I'm going to go to this one, flush. Our casino pays 4 to 1. All right, I go ahead and hand that off. Pay the main wager. Lock up the cards. All right, and that is face up Pai Gow poker.